6 things an intelligent person never says. Stoicism, philosophy. Have you ever said something maybe in frustration or pride and instantly wished you could take it back? We've all been there. Words once spoken can't be unsaid, and too often they leave behind more than just awkward silence. They leave an impression, a judgment, sometimes even a wound. But what if you could train yourself to speak with clarity, restraint, and strength? What if your words reflected the depth of your mind rather than the volatility of the moment? That's what we're unpacking today. 6 things an intelligent person never says. Inspired by Stoic wisdom, timeless, powerful, and incredibly relevant, these 6 habits will not only refine the way you speak, but also change the way you live, lead, and connect. Let's begin. Number 1. I already know that it's a common phrase, and on the surface, it sounds confident, even competent. But when someone says, I already know, that what they often reveal is not their intelligence, but their ego. Imagine being in a room where ideas are flowing. Someone brings up a point you've heard before, maybe even something you consider basic. You're tempted to cut them off and say, yeah, I know. You think you're saving time, but you're actually cutting off opportunity to listen, to understand the speaker's unique take, and to deepen a connection. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It is impossible to learn that which one thinks one already knows." Intelligent people don't posture as no. They treat each moment like a chance to revisit, reflect, and reinforce what they've learned, even if they've heard it 100 times. Take Maya, a project leader in a tech firm. She had a sharp mind and an impressive resume, but she had a habit of interrupting team members with a dismissive "yep, I know," before they could finish a sentence. Over time, the team stopped bringing her new ideas, not because they weren't trying, but because they felt unheard. Maya wasn't just missing out on knowledge, she was missing out on trust. Eventually, she reflected and made a commitment. She stopped saying, "I already know that," and started asking, "Tell me more," or "How did you come to that conclusion?" The results were powerful. Team engagement increased. New solutions emerged. And Maya became a better leader, not by knowing more, but by saying less. Wisdom listens more than it speaks. Number 2, that's just how I am. This phrase often comes up when people are confronted with criticism or a call to grow. It sounds like self-awareness, but it's often self-sabotage. Saying this is like putting up a sign that reads, "No improvement beyond this point." The Stoics believed in the power of transformation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Saying "that's just how I am" denies that power. It places you in a fixed mindset, where growth feels impossible and responsibility fades into comfort. Reuben was known for his short temper. Every time someone confronted him about it, he'd shrug and say, "That's just how I am. Don't sugarcoat." It became his shield and his excuse, but his relationships suffered. One day, a close friend stopped him mid-rant and said, "You say that's just who you are, but it's not who you have to be." That moment stayed with him. Reuben began reading more on Stoic teachings, journaling his triggers, and slowly changed his habits. He still spoke honestly, but now with control and purpose. Intelligence isn't about staying the same. It's about growing, especially when it's hard. Let go of the phrase, "That's just how I am," and ask instead, "Who am I becoming?" Number 3, it's not my fault. Blame is easy. Responsibility is rare. And that's why intelligent People rarely say, "It's not my fault." Of course, there are times when something truly isn't your fault. But the difference lies in what you choose to focus on: assigning blame or taking ownership. The philosopher Cleanthes once said, "Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling." Intelligent people are willing. They step into situations not asking, "Who's to blame?" but "What can I do next?" Tara worked in logistics and was overseeing a delivery operation that hit major delays. When questioned, she could have said, "It's not my fault, the vendor caused this." Instead, she said, "I take responsibility. Let me walk you through what happened and how we'll fix it." Her calm, solution-oriented tone didn't just diffuse tension, it built trust. Blame is reactive. Responsibility is powerful. You don't need to own someone else's mistake, but you can own your role in the solution. That's what Stoics teach. That's what intelligent people do. Number 4, that's impossible. This statement shuts the door before it's even opened. It often masks fear, doubt, or a lack of imagination. Intelligent people avoid it not because they believe everything is easy, but because they believe in effort, adaptation, and perspective. The Stoics never promised comfort. They promised clarity. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Andre, an engineer in sustainable energy, faced a nearly impossible project, half the budget, tight deadlines. One teammate muttered, "This is impossible." Andre responded then, "Let's do what's possible until the impossible isn't." They didn't create perfection, but they built a prototype that opened new doors. By refusing to say that's impossible, they stayed open to possibility. It's not blind optimism, it's disciplined action. When you say something's impossible, you often hand your power to fear. Replace it with, "What can I try next?" Number 5, that's beneath me. There's a quiet arrogance in the phrase, "That's beneath me." It often comes when someone feels a task is too small or not worthy of their status. But Stoic thinkers knew that humility is the mark of true intelligence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others, or in despising humble tasks." Hassan, a respected architect, once refused to help move blueprints for a presentation. His supervisor heard and replied, "If you think you're too important to carry the plans, you're too proud to design." That moment changed him. Years later, Hassan taught young architects not just how to design, but how to serve. Because the truth is, nothing worthwhile is ever beneath you when you're grounded in purpose. When you reject menial work, you miss a chance to grow character. Embracing small tasks sharpens humility, and humility builds leadership. The next time you're faced with a simple or tedious task, don't flinch. Show up with grace. That's what intelligent people do. Number 6, I don't care. This might be the most dangerous phrase of all. It's said with detachment, indifference sometimes, even as a defense mechanism. But here's what makes it dangerous. It severs your emotional engagement with life. The Stoics were often misunderstood as emotionless, but in truth, they cared deeply, just not about everything. They practiced indifference to what they couldn't control, not apathy toward life. Saying "I don't care" shuts down connection. Elijah, a team coach, heard a colleague venting about upper management. Instead of saying, "I don't care," he said, "Let's try to understand their reasoning." That one line sparked dialogue instead of division. It created space for trust. Saying, "I don't care," might protect you from disappointment, but it also distances you from opportunity. empathy, and growth. Intelligent people don't try to numb their engagement with life. They care strategically, deeply, and with purpose. Replace "I don't care" with "What can I influence?" Conclusion 1. Do your words reveal about you? It's not just what you say. It's what you mean. It's how you listen. It's who you're becoming. Let your words reflect the strength of your soul.